A major development has just shaken Kwara State. A medical doctor, yes, a licensed professional, has been intercepted and detained for allegedly supplying essential drugs to kidnapping gangs operating across forested parts of the state. According to emerging reports, security operatives believe this doctor was not just a passive participant. He was allegedly ferrying drugs all the way from Sokoto down to Jebba axis, where the items were handed over to criminal networks desperate for medical care. And now, this case is raising one of the biggest questions in our national security space today. How deep does the support system for kidnappers really go? The new information came from a statement released by the Kwara State Government through its X handle. In that statement, the administration confirmed that the Department of State Services had taken a medical doctor into custody. He was allegedly transporting drugs, vital medications, directly to criminal hideouts inside Kwara's thick forests. My viewers, if you are following this analysis, please like the video and subscribe. According to Sahara reporters, kidnapping syndicates operating in Kwara have recently been struggling with medical needs. Many of their members reportedly sustained gunshot injuries while engaging security forces in the forests. With their usual routes collapsing and with more pressure from law enforcement, they allegedly resorted to recruiting professional medical help, doctors, couriers, and anyone willing to keep their operations alive. Now, let us look at this clearly. The DSS says it picked up intelligence that certain medical supplies were being moved from Sokoto across state lines into Kwara forests. The doctor was reportedly intercepted in the Jebba region, a strategic point along the route. The government statement emphasized that these criminal networks are now desperate for medical intervention, which is why authorities are advising health facilities near forested zones to strengthen their security measures. From this point, the new development isn't just about an arrest. It reveals a deeper, more shocking reality about how organized, connected, and resourceful these kidnapping gangs have become. If you are watching, please like this video and subscribe. Another angle to this issue is the legal and constitutional implications. For one, a medical doctor, someone bound by professional ethics, being linked to aiding criminal activities raises serious concerns. Legally, if the DSS establishes that he knowingly supplied drugs used to treat armed criminals, he could face charges ranging from aiding and abetting to direct support of terrorism, depending on the evidence. The Nigerian constitution guarantees freedom of movement and professional practice, but it also makes clear that aiding criminal activity, particularly violent kidnapping rings, is a major offense. So while his identity has not yet been made public, his arrest opens a much broader conversation about oversight, ethical compliance among healthcare professionals, and the increasing vulnerability of medical supply chains. If you are watching, please like this video and subscribe. There is also a procedural concern. Some critics may argue, was due process followed? Was the arrest based on verified intelligence or suspicion? Will the doctor have access to legal representation? These are legitimate questions, especially in a country where security operations can sometimes lead to prolonged detentions without trial. On the other hand, supporters of the action argue that national security threats demand swift intervention and that preventing kidnappers from accessing medical supplies could save many innocent lives. To fully understand the gravity of this situation, we must look at the wider Nigerian context. Nigeria is currently battling multiple layers of insecurity: kidnapping for ransom, banditry, terrorism, cultism, and pervasive violence crimes. These problems have put immense pressure on communities, families, and businesses. And when kidnapping syndicates begin to recruit medical support, it increases their ability to sustain prolonged operations. In Kwara, like many other states, forested belts have become dangerous zones.
Communities live in fear. Farmers hesitate to go to their farms. Transporters dread certain routes. Families sleep with one eye open. And now, an alleged medical supply network is being uncovered, suggesting that these criminals are evolving, learning and expanding their survival mechanisms. Now let us shift to the emotional angle. For many Nigerians, this story is deeply troubling. Some supporters of the government's action feel relieved. They see the arrest as proof that the security agencies are improving their intelligence gathering and are hitting criminals at their weakest points. Many citizens have lost loved ones to kidnappers. Many have paid ransoms. Many still carry trauma. So hearing that a support system for these criminals has been disrupted brings a sense of hope. But on the other side, there are skeptics and critics. Some people worry that the detained doctor might be a mistaken identity or unclear intelligence. They ask, did he know the drugs were going to kidnappers? Was he coerced? Was he simply delivering medical supplies without knowledge of the intended users? These are fair questions, because in Nigeria, once a suspect is arrested, public opinion often condemns them before the court even speaks, and that can destroy a person's reputation, family, and career.
Communities are divided. Some are calling for transparency. Others want immediate prosecution. Meanwhile, the doctor's family, whoever they are, will be going through fear, shame, and uncertainty. My viewers, if you value balanced analysis, please subscribe. From the government's perspective, the situation is straightforward. This arrest is about national security. Authorities believe that cutting off medical access to criminals weakens them, and they argue that any individual, regardless of their profession, who is found aiding criminal networks must face the law. Another angle to this issue is the government's warning to health workers in remote or forest-side areas. Officials are urging hospitals and clinics to tighten their operations because kidnappers may begin targeting healthcare facilities directly. This shows the government is anticipating escalation, which, in itself, tells us how serious the intelligence reports are. Politically speaking, the government also needs to demonstrate progress in the fight against insecurity. Public trust is low, and citizens are demanding results. So an arrest like this sends a message: we are watching, and we are responding. However, the government must also ensure transparency. Nigerians have seen cases where suspects are paraded and later released quietly due to lack of evidence. If this case is mishandled, it could damage public confidence even further. Now, from this point, we need to understand what may come next. First, there will likely be a deeper investigation into whether this doctor acted alone or was part of a wider medical supply network. If other couriers exist, they may be tracked and arrested. This could expand into a major crackdown. Second, other states may begin reviewing their medical logistics pathways. If drugs can be moved from Sokoto to Kwara undetected until the final stage, it means there may be loopholes in monitoring and regulation. My viewers, if you are following this breakdown, please like the video and subscribe.
Third, there may be legal proceedings. The DSS might present the doctor in court, seek a remand order, or keep him in custody while building their case. Civil society groups may demand fairness and due process. Lawyers may step in. Fourth, this case could trigger stronger security measures in rural hospitals, clinics, and dispensaries. Health workers may begin facing stricter screening when transporting drugs across states. Fifth, public reaction will continue to grow. Nigerians are becoming more vocal about insecurity, and stories like this intensify national concern. Politicians may use the case to emphasize their security strategies. Analysts will debate whether this arrest marks a turning point or just another headline in a long battle. Economically, reduced kidnapping activity could help businesses and farmers in Kwara regain confidence. But if kidnappers retaliate by attacking health facilities, as government warnings suggest, then communities may face new risks. And finally, this story may push the conversation towards a bigger question. How deeply embedded are criminal networks in Nigeria's professional and supply sectors? Because if a doctor can allegedly be involved, we must ask what other professionals might be aiding these criminal operations, knowingly or unknowingly. This story is still developing. Details will continue to emerge, but for now, what we are witnessing is a critical moment in Nigeria's fight against kidnapping, a moment that forces us to confront uncomfortable realities about crime, ethics, national security, and the fragile system that connects them all. And as always, stay informed, stay safe, and stay aware. Please like the video and subscribe.